bum dee. Bada. Bing.
Last time on Captain Carrot's epic devlog.
Why is he running in circles? Okay, you need to cross the street on your left as soon as you can. Left, go left now!
I'm working on it!
Away from me, you're gonna have to go faster.
Ghost potato. Sorry it isn't better. I still have a lot to learn. What kind of game would I make? I definitely too much brain. What I didn't plan on was the perfect spiral. Where were we? A year ago, The Adventures of Captain Carrot was a small 2-week project and a blank page. And I was excited to start drawing it. Maybe too excited. Many developers that I've been lucky enough to befriend at this time were mainly programmers. Most were more mathematically and analytically juggernauts. They were the ones who could read the code of the Matrix, whereas I was just admiring Keanu Reeves' shirt. To these people, a square with a perfect jump mechanic was a way more sought after challenge. But me? I came into that game developer life as an artist first. Formal coding was, and still is, like a forbidden magic that is locked away from me and my darn dyslexia. The dark arts of Immortal Life could be laid hidden between those weird looking brackets that I would just never be able to decipher it. What I cared about most in regards to game development was how the game looked. Visuals defined a video game for me. It gave a face for the player to interact with. It introduced a potential player base to the game's experience at a first glance. Is it a text-based labyrinth like Dwarf Fortress? Does it have the cartoony vibe like Overwatch? Is it a gritty horror game like Horse Club Adventures? It all comes back to the pretty visuals. So with that in mind, when I was working on my first big project, I started drawing out ideas with the zeal of an artist unhinged. As an artist, I saw this as a potential portfolio piece. A unique opportunity to go a little extra on a few things. Maybe add a little bit more pizzazz when needed on a few visual aspects. Because who cares, right? It's not like it's going to be a commercially published game, right? 20 frames for a few sparks with a beautiful glow on a 64 by 64 canvas? Pfft, no big deal. It's going to be so smooth. Just think about how pretty those spikes will be. It's only going to be a one level thing, right? Right? Spoilers. It was not. I think I woke up very early for your typical indie game developer. At 10 a.m. I went for a long walk and just started thinking to myself, okay, Whitevault, you got 8 weeks. Just go crazy. Keep it one level long, 2 enemies, and a boss. But like animation for days. Squash and stretch. We don't need an engine to do that. You can do that by hand. Saturate all the colors. Stretch everything to the extreme and I don't know, everything has a face. If you're following the timeline at home or over a stranger's shoulder, we are here. The first sketch of our hero. Since I kept the design very tiny at this point, I knew I wanted a very simple boss, so I decided maybe a strawberry that's double the size of our hero. The strawberry's boss meaning would just run back and forth until he eventually got tired, and then the player could go in and attack him. Simple. For the visuals, I was looking for a certain vibe, something like the game Cool Spot, which was an early 90s platformer game sponsored by 7-Up. So following this inspiration, I added and restyled the vending machines from the General to act as checkpoints, and originally using soda cans as kind of collectibles. Maybe have like a happy announcer, voiced by yours truly, obviously. I would say something like, "This checkpoint has been brought to you by MarKellZ Ice Soda. Ice Soda, it's required." Something kind of fun like that. And as I build out the story and its backdrop, I thought, what if Captain Carrot is a Saturday morning cartoon in the General world? This would allow a nice little cross-reference to one another. And the more I thought about it, the more I loved it. So I thought, you know what? Let's really embrace that cartoon feel. I wanted a precise coyote run. I love the idea of just running off a platform or an edge and still have a little bit of leeway to be able to jump and recover. After some help from the community and Boolean that controlled the gravity values, I was happy with what I had. On top of that, I thought, you know what would be interesting if I vocalized all of Captain Carrot's moves, kind of like anime Unhinged. Carrot jump, carrot roll, attack, idling. Well, I thought that was a great idea until I started kind of implementing it, and I got pretty annoyed at my own voice quite quickly. So I put that in the maybe down the road idea. And that was it, to be honest. Captain Carrot version 1.0 was pretty simple. 2 enemies, 1 boss, a cute little cartoon jump, and some checkpoints with some callbacks to General. And because it was easy, I was able to kind of pick it up pretty quickly. After a little over 4 weeks, I had a good understanding of Pixel Maker MV, and now there was a working boss named Strawbelly, thanks to the wonderful chat. 2 berry-based enemies called the Berry Boys, a simple tile set, and a huge, unnatural number of frames. I had a very long, unforgiving level that would just punish you if you were not able to master that carrot jump. And after a month of writing in chat, I caved, and I allowed Captain Carrot to swing his sword at the Berry Boys and kill them. Damn you, chat! And that was it. Captain Carrot was finished in version 1.0. 5 people played it, and White Vault returned to the General, and everyone lived happily ever after. Or so we thought. Little did our hero know that deep in the dark mountains of the Discord DMs, something was in motion that would ultimately shatter the scope of Captain Carrot far beyond even my understanding. So, Captain Carrot version 1.0. At this point, I was sharing builds around it with people in the community. The large consensus was it was janky but very enjoyable. It killed your memory, and it was as optimized as a car with iron tires, but it was fun, and it looked pretty. And someone in this community, which we will call the Harbinger of Endless Scope, responded very positively to this build, playing it throughout the week, giving a lot of helpful feedback, and even asking for a more up-to-date version every time I fix something. As I neared the end of my 2-month date, they slid into my DMs. My wife and I are really enjoying Captain Carrot, even shared it with a few of our friends. I remembered you talking about having General on Nintendo Switch, but if you're willing to work on Captain Carrot a bit more and make it more commercial, I would be willing to pay for a Nintendo dev kit. I really think it has a lot more potential, and I would love to help see that through. Such a simple statement changed my life, guys. It was more than just a golden ticket. It was someone saying, yeah, I believe in your dream. To me, this would legitimize myself as a developer and as a games artist. So I thought about it hard for a while, and yeah, perhaps I overthought it. this was my foot in the door, I wanted to make sure that it was worth that level of support. This is someone believing in me and a project I was working on, and the least I could do is just give it every inch I can, right? If this was gonna happen, I needed to just get better. I looked through the Nintendo Digital Store, looking over the trailers and screenshots, and I looked over my broken game with my bazillion frames for a couple of spikes. And I looked over my sketchpad. It still wasn't good enough. I still wasn't good enough, but I really, really wanted to change that. One more time, I opened up Aspring and decided everything had to go. Lore was needed, and those 20 frame spikes were the first thing to get the revamp. As for general, well, there's always after, right? Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this one took a little longer than usual. That's all on me. I've been really swamped trying to get ready for the Kickstarter. I also want to say thank you, Bunny Stick, for editing these lovely videos and just giving me your patience. Also, Composey, thank you so much for the beautiful melody that brings us in. And of course, MarKellZ. Thank you very much for lending your voice in the beginning of the video. Also want to say a special thank you to you holy few on my Patreon, to Star Princess, Koromai, Matzi Megs, to Bumper Sticker, and to Huge Steve. Guys, thank you for believing in these videos. We got this. And there we go. That's the end of the video. Hopefully we have some fan art that we're showing, so fan art, boo boo boo, on the edge of the video.